If I'm going to make a cake of Connect 4, I need to get a good look at the real game. What's this? It says turn over. It's a note. It says, sure, making a cake of the game is neat, but I have a real challenge for you. I challenge you to make the finished cake playable. And then you and I will play a match to see who the real Connect 4 champion is.
Newsflash, it's gonna be me.
Who are you?
I'm the undefeated 3-time state World Connect 4 champion. You can call me Champ.
I'm not gonna call you Champ.
Call me Champ.
All right, fine, Champ. I'm just trying to make a realistic cake.
Then forfeit. Leave the grid to the professionals. Go bake a muffin.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna ignore you and move on. To make Connect 4, I have to make edible chips. They come in yellow and red. That way you can tell which player owns which chip and see who gets 4 in a row first. I'll also have to make edible versions of the blue grid and 2 legs. I was really hoping this frame snapped into 2 pieces. But look at this. It's a solid piece with all these interconnected columns inside. That's gonna make this incredibly tricky. I guess I'm gonna have to get creative with this one. To capture every detail, I'm gonna use a liquid pour mold. It's thin enough to seep into all those tight spaces, but it's also thin enough to leak everywhere if I'm not careful. I'm building these walls as a barrier to keep the liquid mold contained. But wait, I don't have enough walls. And even if I did, this wooden base is too small. The walls are hanging off the edge. Great start, Natalie. Total fail. Reset, we're resetting. Okay, fresh start. I'll use this large gold cake board so the walls have a solid foundation.
You're falling apart, Sideserf. I knew you couldn't handle the heat.
It's that guy again. What is with him? Okay, where was I? Now I can put down the grid and the walls. This is much better. Now I'll seal that open area with some tape. This isn't an example of my best engineering, but it should hold. Since the grid is hollow and made of light plastic, it's gonna wanna float once I add the liquid. This bucket is going to act as a weight to keep it anchored. I'm filling the mold exactly halfway, and then I'll let it firm up. It's set, so now it's time for the risky part. I'm spraying the surface with oil, and then I'm pouring a second layer of the molding material on top. If the oil works, I'll be able to pull the 2 halves apart and have a perfect negative of the grid. If it doesn't work, then I've just encased the grid in a block of molding material. I've never tried this specific technique before, so we'll see how it goes. While that sets,
and I try not to panic,
let's move on. Next up, the legs and chips. To make sure that every piece is a perfect match, I'm making a mold of the original game parts. Unlike the grid, these shapes are much more straightforward. No hidden columns, just a simple pour, a quick set, and perfect. This cake is an example of when I really appreciate the power of molding. These chocolate legs will line up with the grid exactly. Can you imagine if I had to hand sculpt all of those chips? There are 42 of them. 21 red, 21 yellow. If I did that by hand, this video would be a week long. I'm cutting the chip molds into individual pieces. It allows me to pick up the mold and make sure that the chocolate seeps into every detail. Then I can set it down without messing up all the other chips while they're trying to set.
Color check. Red or yellow, Sideserf.
Don't do that, you weirdo!
It's Champ.
Are you finished?
I'm never finished. I'm the clink. In the night.
I said stop doing that.
Alright. Sensitive.
All right, so I'm making a bunch of chips. Let's see how they look. Yes, very cute. I don't know why, but I always think edible versions of things are cute. It's firm. Time to see if this double mold experiment actually worked, or if I just made a large rubber brick. First, I gotta break down these walls. First win, the tape held. No leaks, no mess. Now for the scary part, peeling the 2 layers apart. It worked. The oil did exactly what it was supposed to do. It kept the 2 layers from bonding. With a mold this complex, it's hard to tell if there's any imperfections in there. I won't know for sure until I use it. I'm using sculpting tools to force the chocolate into all those thin rings. It's so detailed. I have no clue how this is gonna turn out. Now I just gotta let it set. Now you may be wondering, where's the cake in this cake? Do you wear clothes or know someone who does? Well, get yourself some more by heading over to sideserfcakes.com. We just dropped a bunch of brand new designs. I'm wearing one right now. The whole cake gang's here. And we have hats for each of the members of the cake gang. I love these hats so much. We also have this cute tumbler of Bop the Boba and fun new t-shirt designs in kid and adult sizes. I'll put a link below so you don't get lost on your way to the store. And now back to the cake. Here's the challenge. A Connect 4 grid is a series of thin, hollow plastic rings. There's literally nowhere to hide cake in that structure. So to make this a cake, I've got to get a little creative with the cake part. My solution? I'm gonna make the Connect 4 box out of cake and it'll go with the game. Now I know some people are gonna say,
it's not cake unless the whole thing is cake.
But if I follow that rule, then that means I have to pass on so many cool cakes just because the objects are too thin to fit cake in them. And I don't want to do that. I want to make everything cake. If you have a tiered wedding cake with edible fondant figures on top, it's still a cake. The way I see it is the cake is the box and the topper is a chocolate replica of Connect 4. The cake box is complete. This is it. The moment of truth. It is time to see how the grid turned out. I'm demolding the chocolate grid, and because it's so thin, I'm really nervous it's gonna crack. Okay, it's out. All right. It looks like we've got some major imperfections here. The chocolate just couldn't reach into every detail before it started to set. I could pour it again, but honestly, I think I'm gonna run into the same problem. I think my best bet is to go in manually and hand sculpt the missing sections. Now on the bright side, like 75% of the mold actually looks good.
Well. Looks like your little mold idea was a bust.
It worked. I just need to clean it up a little.
That's what they all say. I knew you couldn't make this cake, let alone make it playable.
You know what? Fine. I'll make the cake playable.
And you have to play me, using the cake.
You want a championship match?
I thought you'd never ask.
All right, you're on. But fair warning, I'm not just making a game, I'm making your retirement cake.
Well, that's what I like to hear. Let's go. Game starts in a half hour. Be ready.
All right, now go.
Consider me gone.
No, I mean, you really have to go. I have to figure out how to make this cake playable in 30 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
He's driving me crazy. I have to win. Let's take a look at the real grid again. I already made 2 chocolate grids that I can sandwich together. But the real challenge is what's inside the game. There are thin vertical walls that guide the chips into their slots. I need an edible version of those walls. And they need to be sturdy enough to stay perfectly straight without warping or melting. I have an idea. I'm scoring the chocolate to create guides. Then I'm piping a line of chocolate to act as glue. And now I can place dried fettuccine noodles on there. They're flat and ribbon-shaped, and the perfect scale for the internal tracks of the grid. Now the spacing is key. If the columns are too narrow, the chips get stuck. If they're too wide, then they don't stack properly and the game becomes unplayable. Now that I finished this grid, I can work on the second. It's time to sandwich the walls together. I'm trying to line up these columns with the first wall's columns. Wait, the left side isn't lining up. The noodle right here is off by just a little bit. I'm carefully carving it out, and then I'm gonna shift it to the right. It's gonna be a snug fit, but it's the only way these puzzle pieces will lock together. Gotta make sure the chip can still fit in there. All right, looks like this might work. Let's try again. Yes, everything lines up. I'm sealing the sides with chocolate to lock everything in place. This still isn't fully dry, so I don't want to mess with it too much. While it sets, I'm gently painting it with blue food color. I just want that blue to be a little bit more vibrant. Now I hope my chocolate feet are strong enough to hold the weight of this game. I'm putting one last piece of pasta across the bottom. It's gonna act as a stopper so the chips don't just slide out and fall on the table. I'm sealing everything with a little bit of chocolate, and now I just gotta flip it over. And there you have it, a cake of Connect 4. It's so neat how I made edible pieces of everything in the game. I have no idea if this is strong enough to hold the weight of the chips, but we're about to find out because I am out of time. I've got the directions here. It says I'm going to the arena?
In the red corner, the undefeated, the legendary, the champ. And in the yellow corner, the challenger, the architect, Sideserf. This match is scheduled for one fall. The rules are simple. First to 4 in a row wins.
It's fine, it's fixed. Let's play.
No.
Yes! Who's the champ now? I won! I won!
Let's get it open, now you're floating, so you got to dance for me. Don't need no hateration, holleration in this dancery. Let's get it percolating while you're waiting, so just dance for me.